Sports coaches are making $30,000 a month online by using the online mentorship model. And in this video, I'm gonna break down the 3 stages that you need to go through if you wanna make $30, $50, or even $100,000 a month coaching athletes all online. If this is your first time here, my name is Nick Neville. I run an online consulting company called Just Coach, where we help sports coaches achieve time and financial freedom by implementing the online mentorship model so they can make more money, reach more athletes, and live a way better life. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. I got an absolute banger for you. Got a blank whiteboard for you because I'm just gonna walk you guys through the online mentorship model. Okay, now what is the online mentorship model? After working with over 450 sports coaches across a dozen different sports, baseball, football, soccer, lacrosse, basketball, fighting sports, gymnastics, you name it, we've worked with them, okay? And after working with a bunch of different sports, we've developed this model called the online mentorship model that is the best way that we have seen to make 10, 20, 30, 50, $100,000 a month. We have clients inside of our program right now making over $150,000 a month using this exact strategy that I'm going to walk you through today, okay? So without further ado, let's dive right in. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you have to lay your foundations, okay? Think about if you were going to build a house, okay? You're gonna build a beautiful, gigantic, awesome house, okay? If you built that house on sand, how sturdy, stable, sustainable is it going to be to live in that house? The answer is basically 0, right? So what we need to do is we need to lay a strong, sturdy, deep foundation that allows us to build a big, beautiful mansion, AKA your $30,000 a month online coaching business, okay? And what that actually looks like when we're building the foundations, the first thing that we need to think about is who are we trying to target, okay? Because one of the biggest questions that I get and that my team gets from either our clients or people that are prospective clients is, well, I'm not sure if the athletes that I'm currently working with right now would want to do something online. I'm not sure if they would get value out of it, right? And we see this all the time from like the ages of, let's say, I don't know, 6 to 14. We've seen this to be a little bit more difficult. Okay, why is it more difficult to work with athletes between the ages of 6 to 14? Well, the first thing is that they're not 100% self-sufficient at that age. They can't drive for themselves. Most of the time, the athletes aren't going to be super committed at that age range. Now, they definitely can, and there are instances where the athletes are super committed, but a large part of what we teach is to charge premium pricing. And what we've seen, based on the data, at the ages of 6 to 14, it can be a lot more difficult to charge a premium price. Now, I'm not saying that it's not possible. We definitely have had clients that make decent money selling to this age group, but the clients inside of our program that are making $30,000 a month, $50,000 a month, $100,000 a month, what they're doing is ideally 15 to 22, okay? The reason why, my rationale, 15 to 22 is the easiest demographic is number one, there's still a lot of athletes playing whatever sport it is, okay? I come from a baseball background, so a lot of the examples I use are baseball, but you can extrapolate this to any sport that you play or coach, okay? In high school, there are tons of high school baseball players, and the goal is to play in college, okay? And so as a result of that, the high school and college athlete are in a very similar position to where they're still most likely financially dependent on their parents, but there is a big incentive to continue playing the sport, whether it be a college scholarship, getting professional opportunities, despite the fact that you don't even, like my parents, for example, spend $70,000 for me to go to IMG Academy. I didn't play in the major leagues. I didn't even play affiliate baseball, but was that investment worth it? It was 1,000% worth it because I got the opportunity to go to the University of Notre Dame as a result and met a bunch of people there. And then now here I am running a very successful business as a result of the connections and experiences that I had. Okay, so there is a very big incentive for people to continue to play sports the further up the chain that they go, and it starts in high school. That's why we want to go after somebody that's 15 to 22. Now, something that resonates with just about everybody that I say this to is we want to target a younger version of you. Okay? The reason why we want to target a younger version of you is, number one, you understand their problems better than anybody else, right? If I look back at a 16-year-old version of me, I know exactly what that kid was thinking. I knew exactly what he needed. I knew exactly the problems that he was actually facing and what he thought the problems were versus how I could actually help him. I understood him, or I understand him, 16-year-old me, better than 16-year-old me understood me. And I'm sure you probably feel the exact same. So we are going to build our business around a younger version of you and only a younger version of you. Okay, that doesn't mean that we can't sell to other people who aren't necessarily the ideal athlete. It just means that the business should be constructed for that one specific type of person because they're going to be the easiest ones to sell. They're going to be the easiest ones to get results for, and they're going to be the most likely to retain, refer their friends, come out and meet you in person. Like, for example, I have these in-person events for clients inside of my coaching program, Remote Training University. We do them quarterly. And we have clients that have been to pretty much every single event that I've thrown, regardless of whether I do it here inside of my living room, whether I do it in Chicago, Illinois, or it doesn't matter, right? Because our best clients, no matter what, are going to come because I target the same thing in my business. I target, quote unquote, a younger version of me, somebody who's a little bit earlier on in their online coaching journey, okay? So number one, we got to make sure that we know who we're targeting, okay? The second thing, when it comes to the foundations, what are we helping them with? Okay, and the what is the offer. Okay, what exactly are we helping them with? Now, a lot of people will come to me and be like, Nick, I can help athletes do this and this and this and this. I can help athletes with their hitting and their fielding and their defense and their running and their strength, and that's all fine and dandy. And look, I think it's awesome that you're an amazing coach and you can really help your athletes on a deep level. What we've seen, this is just based on data, okay? Based on the hundreds of coaches that we've worked with and the dozens and dozens and probably over 100 at this point to make $10,000 to $30,000 a month coaching athletes online, okay? I'm just sharing with you what has worked based on our experiences, okay? What they're doing is they're going specific outcome for a specific time at a specific price. Okay, now what does that actually look like in practice? Okay, for example, we have a client who does like $40,000 a month helping baseball players improve their sprint mechanics so that way they can drop their 60 time by, I think it's like maybe half a second or something like that. Right? I don't know. No disrespect to Adrian, right? But it's a specific outcome. Drop your 60 time, okay? Drop your 60. Or if you guys follow me on Instagram, you see I've been posting some pictures with my boy Nick. Shout out Nick. He helps catchers drop their pop time, okay? Specific outcome. I have a client, his name is Ian, does about $150,000 a month. He helps people become a freak athlete. Okay, it's a very specific outcome. It doesn't have to be a measurable, although having it be a measurable can be a lot easier. And if this is obviously something that you need help with, you don't know what your offer should be, then you can obviously work with us inside of our program, Remote Training University. You can check out the link in the description. However, okay, so we want the specific outcome for a specific time. We have seen 3 to 6 months be the sweet spot. Okay, 3 to 6 months for 1,500 to 3K plus. Okay, and you might be sitting here thinking, oh my goodness, Nick, how are they charging $3,000 for an online coaching program? It's like, think about it like this. What if you were able to drop somebody 60 time, like if, let's say you're a baseball coach, you're able to drop somebody 60 time from a 7.0 to a 6.5. Think about how much that could actually change somebody's career. That is tens of thousands of dollars potentially in scholarship money. That is a way better opportunity. That is, increased draft stock. Like if they're a draft prospect, that could be hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. potentially in stock based on just decreasing their 60 time, okay? So we want to price to the outcome. We want to price to the outcome, okay? That is where a lot of people mess up. They start thinking that adding more to the outcome or adding more to their program, which we'll get into here in a second, they think adding more to the program is going to justify the price point. But you have to ask yourself, if there was only one outcome that my athletes could achieve as a result of working with me inside of my program, and I could charge $3,000 for it, what would that be? That is the mental frame that you need to go into. And to be honest with you, based on all the clients that I've worked with that make the most amount of money with online coaching, they charge the most. There's no secret, okay? And I have actually had clients who have tried to charge more money and couldn't do it. They couldn't get people to say yes because their outcome wasn't good enough, okay? You can't just say, I'm going to coach you, pay me $5,000 for 6 months of coaching. You're probably not going to be able to do that, okay? You're probably not going to be able to do that unless you have some crazy background in whatever sport it is that you have. And even then, oftentimes, you're probably not going to get people to pay a premium price unless you can package your offer properly, okay? Now that we know we need to go after a very specific person, we need a specific outcome for a specific timeline, for a specific price. And if you want me to just tell you, Nick, what should I charge? I'm just starting out with online coaching. $1,500 for 3 months is a sweet spot. If you have limiting beliefs around money, you could go to $900 or even $750 and then slowly over time stair step your way up. Okay? It's not about getting it perfect the first time. It's about doing something and then improving on it over time. You're probably not going to charge $5,000 for your online coaching program right off rip. You're probably not going to do that. And I don't think that you should. But if you've been charging $1,000 or $2,000 for your online coaching program and you get over 50% of people to say yes on the phone, you should charge more money, right? Statistics show you that you should. Okay? So now that we know that, how are we going to help these people get the result? Well, we have to have a really good program. Okay? We're not just going to charge thousands of dollars to these kids online and then say, oh, thanks for the money. I'm just going to send you over a couple text messages and then we're good to go. Look, that's not what we're all about. At the end of the day, we're about helping athletes change their lives and actually improve their career and giving them an alternative training option that it can be a lot more convenient, okay? And so for the right person, the online program is going to be a way better option. Okay, for the right person, the online program is going to be a way better option, especially if you know how to coach it, okay? So when it comes to the online program, what are we actually going to be delivering to these athletes? Okay, a custom daily plan. When I look back at my time playing in college, my senior year, my 5th year, I went to Southern Illinois University, okay? And we did strength training Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And that our numbers, our weights were specifically tailored to us. And then Thursdays and Thursdays, we did sprints, okay? And it was absolutely miserable. But I tell you what, I got way faster, way stronger, way more jacked, okay? Because I had somebody sitting there pushing me in a custom daily plan. Now, on top of that, at Southern Illinois University, this is why we could absolutely rake. We did what we called optional hitting, and it was technically optional, but we would hit every single day, and we had our coach there, and he would tell us like, hey, this is what you need to work on, okay? So when it comes to online coaching, you're basically just trying to do that. Tell people what to do on a daily basis. You're just not going to be there. Okay? And if you have the right level of athlete who's actually serious, who's actually committed, you don't need to be there. And if your athletes aren't doing the work, you either don't have the right athletes or you didn't charge enough money, because when people pay, they pay attention. When I charged a lot less money for my coaching program, I didn't get nearly as good of results as we do now. Why is that? Well, number one, we're obviously a lot better at what we do. But number two, we charge way more money, right? So people take it serious, okay? That's why charging a premium price is so important. Now, you have the custom daily plan, you have the video analysis. You have the video analysis, okay? So, let me give you guys a little bit of sauce. I go 6 days a week or 5 days a week or however many days a week for the custom daily plan. I have people like, oh, I don't want to give my athletes 7 days a week of workouts. don't. Just don't. You don't have to, okay? I'm not holding a gun to your head saying that you have to do this. I'm just showing you the overall framework that is going to be custom based on each individual athlete and each individual coach based on your coaching style, okay? So Monday through Friday, let's say, they have workouts. On Friday, they send a video of, if you're a hitting coach, they send a video of their swing, and then you break it down for them. You do a video analysis, or they go play games on the weekend, and then they send you their at-bats, and then you break them down for them on Monday or Tuesday on a call, okay? So we can even blend coaching calls / messages. So we have the video analysis, we're doing it on a coaching call, and then, or we can just message them back and forth. We can do it on our own time. You don't have to strap yourself to being on calls in order to do this. And I have plenty of coaches inside of my program that don't do coaching calls with their athletes with that much regularity. Obviously, like, they're going to do a coaching call if they need to, but because the plan is so good, because the video analysis and their messaging is so dialed in, they don't necessarily need to take a ton of calls. Plus, if you talk to kids these days, they don't want to get on a call with you all the time. You know what I mean? Like, they don't want to get on a call with you all the time. They'd much rather text and watch a video that you sent over to them. Okay, it's kind of just a reality. And I was like that as a player too. Okay, so we got the custom daily plan, we got the video analysis, we got the coaching call / messaging. We could even call this communication cadence for those of you guys that have been watching my stuff for a while. Okay, and then you can also do a group. Okay, so the group and the community building, we can do group text, and then when you get advanced, you can do group calls. Now, these group calls can tend, once you have like a handful of athletes and you have high attendance, right? Those can be the most valuable part of your program, because on these calls, that's where we can do a live at-bat breakdown in front of 10 or 15 people and walk through like, hey, Jimmy, what do you think about this? Hey, Johnny, what do you think about this? What do you think about Ryan's swing here, right? We can engage with other people and we can allow ourselves to build a community. So that's what makes people want to stay, okay? I'm giving out so much sauce right now. Hopefully you guys are taking notes. Okay, so this is kind of what the program structure can look like. You can add and subtract things. There are a couple other things that, you know, I could say here, but these are really like, if you're trying to like dial in your foundations, these are the core things that you need. You really don't need a whole lot else. Okay, so that's step number one. You need the foundations. Okay, awesome. We know who we're going to go after. We know what we're going to help them with. We know how we're going to help them achieve that. Now, how do we get clients? Okay, so this is how it's done, okay? You want to grow and monetize an audience. Put a W in the chat for how beautiful my handwriting has gotten on this whiteboard, okay? So we want to grow and monetize an audience, okay? And the best way that we've seen this work is by leveraging your personal brand. Okay, why do we want to use a personal brand? Well, in 2026, people are losing trust every single day. I was literally giving this presentation a couple weeks ago, and somebody on my Instagram Live, when I was giving this presentation, commented and said, this is definitely AI. Like, they thought that me speaking to this camera right now was AI. So anytime people see something on the internet, they immediately just go, oh, that's AI. That's why the personal brand is so important, because I'm sitting here moving around in front of the camera, being myself, showing you my personality, just like you should be doing if you're trying to connect with your athletes. So that way people actually know who you are, right? You want to get to know them on a deeper level, okay? What we're trying to optimize for here is trust, okay? And people buy coaches, not coaching. Okay, people buy coaches, not coaching. That's why we want to build on the back of our personal brand, okay? So we want to lead with the personal brand. Now you might be asking, well, Nick, that's not scalable if I build it on the back of my personal brand. It's like, yo, I got a client right now making $150,000 a month off the back of his personal brand. He doesn't take sales calls. He doesn't coach his athletes. He doesn't do any of that. He's got an entire operation. All he does is make content, okay? All he does is make content, and he's making $150,000 a month. So I think it's fairly scalable, okay? So we want to build it off the back of our personal brand so that way we can really connect with our athletes. And especially if you just want to make $30,000 a month coaching athletes online, like, you don't need to be thinking about how can I build the next Amazon. You just need to make a couple sales, all right? And so if you want to make a couple sales, pay attention. I'm about to learn you, okay? So once we understand that, we're trying to build our personal brand on social media, right? We have the 3-step funnel, okay? And so if you watch a lot of my content, or maybe this is your first time ever seeing me, maybe this is your first video you've ever watched me, okay? I talk a lot about using your Instagram as a funnel to get the attention of your ideal athlete, build trust with them, and then convert them into your program. And I'm gonna give you examples of each of those, okay? So the first thing is we are trying to get attention from our ideal athlete, okay? There are a couple different ways that we can do this. The first one is we can run paid ads. Now, we typically don't recommend our clients to run paid ads until they have already made, $5,000 or $10,000 a month coaching athletes online. And a lot of our clients will ride the organic all the way to, $30,000, sometimes even $100,000 a month, strictly organic. For most people, once they get around the $10,000 a month mark, we start having them run paid ads because they can get more attention and it becomes a lot more mathematic. Okay? And I'll walk you through how that is here in a second. So, when it comes to the attention, we are either going to run paid ads, or we're going to make viral videos. Okay, and these aren't necessarily viral videos where we're like dancing like the Savannah Bananas, although I do have a client who was making viral type of content before he jumped into my program, boom, hits a $30,000 a month in 2 months. Not a typical result at all, but he was making viral videos before he joined into the program, Savannah Banana style, where he was dancing and doing all that different type of stuff previously, and then he got into training content, okay? So he built his audience and he got attention by making these viral videos. So if we pay attention to what he did, and we learn how can we implement that for ourselves, well, we want to make viral videos within the niche, okay? So, for example, if you're a hitting coach and you want to get attention to actually convert into paying clients, right? You're not just going to make Savannah Banana type videos or, whatever. You're not just going to sell your soul on social media to try and get views, okay? I understand that that's not you. That's not what you're trying to do. We want to make viral videos within the niche that essentially are entertaining, that are relevant to your ideal client, and they play on the rules of the algorithm, okay? What does Instagram really care about? Number one, they care about watch time, they care about shares, saves, they care about likes, and they care about comments, okay? So we're trying to optimize for engagement. The way that you do that is you make really good content, okay? You make content that is easy to consume. Think about if Coca-Cola was served in a bowl. How many Coca-Cola bowls do you think they would sell? Not a whole lot. Why is that? Because it's incredibly difficult to drink. Now they put Coca-Cola in a can, they put it in a cup, they put it in a bottle, and now it becomes easy to drink, it becomes easy to consume. Think about your content the exact same way. The easier to consume that your content is, the more people are going to want to watch it. That is how we go viral, okay? And this has a lot to do with the topic. What are the topics that are most relevant to the widest demographic of people that are baseball players, okay? That'll get your brain going for sure. Now, from there, once we get the attention of our ideal client, we want to make trust-based videos, okay? So what does that actually look like? Number one, value. Number two, personal. Number three, proof. Wow, my voice just cracked so bad there. Okay, proof. Okay? So we want to make trust type of content that is valuable to our ideal athlete. we can tell our own personal story so that way people can build a connection with us. And then number 3, we're going to show proof. Okay, so an example of a valuable video, like let's say you're a hitting coach. I keep going back to that because I literally have a bat on my couch right there. I keep looking at it. Okay, so let's say you're a hitting coach. A valuable video would be like, you don't want to say, here are 3 drills that you can do if you want to hit for more power. Anybody can make that video. That's boring. That's annoying. I don't care about that. Okay, what you could say is, if you want to increase your power next spring, there's one thing that you're missing, right? So we're trying to draw the viewer in, and we're trying to talk about how they can increase their power, okay? And then we can talk about our own personal story about how we increased our power, okay? The one thing that I did to increase my power was actually what every other hitting coach was telling me that I shouldn't do. So now I'm being controversial, okay? Now I'm giving you guys a little bit too much sauce. I don't think I should give this much sauce for free. But we want to be valuable, and then we want to tell our own personal story. At the end of that, by the way, if I'm going to close that loop, I'm going to be like, the one thing that I did was I actually just focused on, I don't know, staying in the zone longer, whatever. I don't want to get too tactical about, baseball swing mechanics, because not everybody that watches my stuff is into baseball. But you understand, at that point, that's when you would say, you deliver your piece of value, but you want to package it properly. Okay, and you want people to understand that you actually know what you're talking about. Then from there, you can show pieces of content that are like your athletes performing well. Or it could even be you performing well in your sport. Okay, now the last thing is conversion, or convert. Okay, what does that actually look like? Direct CTA. Okay, CTA is a call to action. Okay, we want to make a video that basically says, if you're a high school baseball player and you want to hit more home runs next spring, but you're having trouble rolling over to the pool side and hitting fly balls to the opposite field, and you want to, dominate the field so that way you can play in college, then DM me the word power, because I want to help you just like I helped my man blank, 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 blank. Okay, or just like I helped myself go from hitting 2 career Division I home runs to 17 the next year. That's a true story, by the way. But that is a direct call to action, okay? We are calling out exactly who we want and telling them, DM me if you want to, achieve this result through my program. Okay, we need to be super direct here. People need to know why they're calling or why they're messaging us, okay? The second thing is going to be objections. Okay, objections. As you start learning more and more and more about why people aren't buying your program, you want to make videos and you want to make pieces of content that overcome those objections. Like, for example, I don't think I should train in season. Well, you probably disagree with that because you're a good coach, right? Why should they be training in season? That is what you should be making content about. Okay? And it's not just one. You're not only making viral. You're not only being valuable and building trust. You're not only calling people to action, right? If you were going to post 7 days a week, like 3 times a day, you would post one of these per day. If you want to be an absolute superstar, okay? That way you could post 3 times a day. Tons of value. We're constantly getting more people in the funnel. Then we're constantly warming them up and building trust. Then we're constantly converting the ones who maybe a week ago or 2 weeks ago saw our stuff. Now they gained a bunch of value over the last 2 weeks. Then they're going to reach out to us, okay? And bonus points if you use YouTube to do all this, all right? So that is the 3-step funnel, okay? And then from there, how do we actually take somebody from a DM conversation to a paying customer, okay? This is one of the biggest question marks that people have when it comes to online coaching, because they don't know how to. They're like, well, the parents are the ones who are paying for the program, but I'm talking to the athlete on Instagram. How do I get the parent there? Don't worry, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna learn you, okay? And it really looks like this. I'm gonna do this on a timeline right here. Hopefully I can make this look perfect. Okay, so this is the initial DM, okay? And we need to understand that there's going to be drop-offs. I'm gonna go through like a set of instances here, there's going to be drop-offs at every single instance, okay? So the first thing that we need to do once we get a DM is we need to qualify that this person is the right person. If this person is not the right person, then we can just say, hey, check out my free content. We're not going to try and get them on a call because that is a waste of your time, okay? If you're not getting the right types of people, you don't feel like you have enough people to pitch, you need to make better content. You need to become a better marketer, okay? So, first thing we're going to do, we're going to qualify. Then, we're going to figure out what is their current situation. How old are you? Okay? What level do you play at? Things like that, right? We're trying to figure out their current situation, and obviously this qualification can kind of be blended into their current situation, okay? Then, we're going to ask, what's your goal? Okay, you play in high school. Are you trying to play in college? Are you trying to play pro? Yeah, I'm trying to play pro. Okay, awesome, great, fantastic. Then we're going to ask, what's the gap? What's holding you back from going right now, let's say hitting the ball 100 miles an hour to hitting the ball 110 miles an hour, right? 100 miles an hour to 110 miles an hour. What's holding you back? What's this gap right here between 100 and 110? Why are you not hitting 110 already? Okay, and sometimes you'll get kids who will be like, oh yeah, I don't know, I think I'm gonna do it anyway. It's like, all right, well cool, just go find somebody who thinks that they actually have a problem, okay? Because if they don't think that they have a problem, they're never gonna buy your program, right? They just need to watch more of your content. And that is a prime example of a piece of content that you can make where it's like, hey, if you're hitting the ball 100 miles an hour and you think just by doing the same things over and over and over again, and you've been stuck for the last 3 months, it's gonna get you there, I promise you it's not. What you need to do is you need to get on a program that's gonna take you from where you are right now to where you wanna go. So if you wanna learn more, DM me. Boom, you can literally steal that. That is so much sauce, okay? Because when anybody falls off in this process, those are all pieces of content that you can make for your page to try and either repel the people who are never going to buy or to attract the people who are on the 5-yard line or the 10-yard line, and they just need to learn a little bit more before they reach out to you, okay? Now, once we know they are the right person, they are a high school baseball player who's 16, who wants to play in college, he's hitting the ball 100 miles an hour, wants to hit it 110, doesn't know what he's doing, he just needs guidance, he doesn't have a plan, he feels like his swing is messed up. Okay, boom, I can totally help this kid. I'm gonna pitch him. I'm gonna pitch a call with his parents. Okay? I'm gonna go, hey man, totally think I can help you. If you'd be open to it, I'd love to jump on a call with you and your parents. So that way we can walk through how I can actually help you specifically to achieve this goal of hitting 110 miles an hour. What do you think? Okay, awesome. Let's do it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to book the call with the parents. Okay, I'm going to book the call with the parents. And then between when I take the call, let's say this is taking the call, I am going to send them what's called a video sales letter plus testimonials. Okay, so you got to think about it like this. The kid is the one who just watched all my content. The kid is the one that I just had the DM conversation with, okay? The kid is the one that I have bought in. I need to make a video that speeds the parents up and then send them testimonials that they watch together as a family before this call, okay? So that way, by the time they get to the call, they know who you are, they know your background, they know you can help, and they know you, like you, trust you on the same level that the kid does. Okay, this video sales letter needs to be really good, and you need to get testimonials, okay, from your athletes that go through your program. This is why clients inside of our program, one of the first things that we tell them to do is to get guinea pigs for their program, so that way they have testimonials. They have guinea pigs for their program that come through, they get results, they get testimonials for them, and now they can leverage them in their sales process. This process is how you can take somebody who DMs you to get on a call with you, and then on that call, you pitch them your program, okay? And obviously, we could go super in-depth on sales training and everything like that, but I think that's good for this section, okay? So that's growing and monetizing an audience. Hopefully you guys are getting a ton of value out of this. I'm going super in-depth right now, and I'm having a blast. When you get me going talking about this stuff, I just won't shut up. So if you guys have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments section below, and I can make future videos or answer them in reels or whatever, okay? So now we know, number one, we got the foundations. Number two, we got to grow and monetize an audience, okay? Number three, we need systems and software. Now this is the easiest one, but this is probably the one that I get the most amount of questions from when it comes to beginners, okay? Because, like, let's be honest, if you're watching this video, you're a sports coach, you probably were not a nerd, right? You probably were not somebody who was sitting there at your computer all the time. All you wanted to do was play sports, and you got into coaching because you love playing sports, right? You're not a software and systems nerd. That's okay. That's why you're here, okay? So really, you only need a couple things, okay? You need a software to deliver your program, okay? You need a software to take meetings. You need a software to book meetings. And then you need to communicate with your athletes. And then obviously edit videos. Okay? It seems super overwhelming. Good news for you. There's software that allow you to do all these things in one, okay? So one of the, I'm going to shamelessly plug Alec here. Connect, you can look up Connect or Connected Performance. They have an online coaching software that allows you to deliver your program. So it'll have like a custom daily plan. It'll have like video analysis on it. You can even book meetings with your current athletes through it. It can even process payments through it. I actually forgot to write that right here too. Okay, you can even process payments through it. It's absolutely incredible. You should check it out. You can use Connect Performance. Now, when it comes to taking meetings, you can use Zoom or Google Meet. Okay, super, super, super simple. When it comes to booking meetings, you can use just like Google Calendar, or you can use a software called Calendly. And then if you do like in-person lessons, you can even use Calendly for your in-person lessons too. Okay, for communication, that's where you can use something like Connect, or you can even use something like Slack, or if you have a platform like School, that's where we host our program at, you could use School. You could even use iMessage, although I would highly recommend against it. Okay, editing videos. This one, you can use CapCut or what is it called? Literally the Edits app. The Edits app, I literally use the Edits app for basically every single one of my reels on Instagram. Okay, it literally takes absolutely no time, super easy to use. Would highly recommend you guys get at least functional with the Edits app if you're trying to post content, okay? It's literally amazing. And then payments, obviously you could go through Connect. I use Stripe. You can use Square. You can use, a bunch of different things. What else can you use? You could use like PayPal if you really wanted to. You could use WAP if you really wanted to. These are just like what we have our clients use. The main thing you need to understand is that software doesn't really cost a whole lot of money. Stripe is free, Edits is free, Slack is free, Calendly is free, or if you want to have like some premium features, you pay like $20 a month. Google Meet is free, and then Connect is really the only thing that you're going to pay for, like $100 a month, or maybe $200 a month. You could even use Google Sheets if you want to deliver your program, okay? So just understand that the systems and software are super, super, super simple. A lot of people, I want to take a second, say a lot of people think that the software is all they need. Now, software is super simple. There are tons of really good software out there, okay? What's most important is that you're going after the right athlete. You have a way to grow and monetize an audience, and then just a simple way to deliver a program. Okay, you want to keep it simple. If you do these things, you can make $30,000 a month. Now, let me walk you through the actual math on how this works. Okay? Oh. Yikes. I'm erasing way too aggressively on this board, huh? Okay, so the actual math, let's use black here. The actual math to make $30,000 a month coaching athletes online. Okay, typically what we see, if you want to make $30K a month coaching athletes online, you need 10 new clients per month. Okay, and that's every single month. Okay, now we've seen our best clients charge upwards of $3,000 or even $5,000. If you're only going to charge, let's say, $1,500 for 12 weeks, which is super reasonable, and that's like a very much like a beginner offer. Okay, so we would need, obviously, if we signed 10 clients at $1,500, that would only be $15,000. That's not $30,000. You're like, Nick, you're terrible at math. Wait a second. I got you. Okay, so we got $15,000 a month of front-end revenue. Now, what we need to do is we need to find $15,000 on the back end. Now, let's just assume we have a 50% retention rate, which our best clients have a 90% plus retention rate. Okay, so we are being unbelievably conservative here. Let's assume a 50% retention rate. Now what we're going to do is we're going to sell them a $4,000 per year program. Let's say 50% of people take that. That's $2,000 extra per athlete. Okay, which would mean that whenever you sign up a new client, you know they're going to be worth $3,500, which 10 new clients a month is going to be $35,000 a month. So I told you $30K a month. I actually showed you how to make $35,000 a month. Okay, so hopefully this video was valuable for you. Hopefully you could take something away from it. If you want to learn more about how you can work with me and my team directly inside of our program, Remote Training University, go ahead, check out the link in the description. Watch that video, apply and book a call with us. If you just want to continue to watch for free on YouTube, that's totally cool with me either way. All right, y'all. Hopefully you got a ton of value out of this. Catch you in the next one. Peace.